Hi everyone, Perry here, and today I will be doing a couple of features that the community and I want. I have asked many people on my server, which is Urumi, if you haven't known already, and what features they want with like 3 to 5 people approval rate because I'm lazy and don't really have friends. And if you want to skip to the parts that you care, there will be time skip either the description or the comment section or both, depending how lazy I am. But yeah, before you that this is gonna be a really long video, so if you really want like this one part of the video, then go to that, finish it, and do whatever you want. And for all intended purposes, we're gonna assume that we got the server rewrite. So like the new engine and all the major bugs fixes, such as like the friend list and stuff like that. But yeah, for our first category, we got community. So anything that's social related will all be in here. So let's start with the big feature right now, off the bat, which is trade. Alenia has said on the forum recently that there's going to be possible trade, but not guaranteed. How will this trading look like? It will either be a rework of all the items' values, or it will be heavily restricted. Personally, I don't think like trade is needed because that's what the game has worked off from. But if there is gonna be trade, it will probably be like all the rares should either have like double the prices or something like that, or not tradable at all. All non-AC tag items or non-rare items will be tradable, whether it's non-mem or member, and the 2 people can agree on what the price is, or you're just gifting it to someone. So yeah, and any specific like hard to get items, such as like the Nulgath items, such as unidentified 13, voucher, non-mem, won't be tradable at all. For those reputational classes, I'm gonna lean towards a little bit to trading, but it's only gonna be for tier 1. So for Darkblast Storm King, you only need rank 8 Thunderforge to be able to get the Darkblast Storm King from a friend. So you don't it's like a weird thing, but yeah, I don't know how that works. Trade's weird. For our next feature, we're gonna have a default item increase. So bag space increase from 50, so from 30 to 50, and there will be 10 free bank spaces you can put in. And I really want this because new players usually just like, oh, bone dust, I'll just grab this. Oh, some, I don't know, like gems or whatever. They'll just pick up everything they see along the path, but they don't really know what the value is. But yeah, if with this they can, you know, gain more stuff and stuff like that. But the max stuff will still be the same, like 250 I believe was the max amount of backspace, and whatever the bank space is will still be the same, but I just want a general increase. And if you already at the max, then it doesn't really make a difference. For our next feature, it's already in the game, but the refer to friend system, it's really trash, to be honest. We had it a long time, and all it gave us is like some EXP and gold. And for a long time, EXP was like worthless because you can easily get to level 65 easily. And gold is just meh. So what I have done, I made a little chart here, or scaling I guess. So I'm just gonna read one off the list. So say you have one friend in the year, and this will be in the year, and that levels to level 10, you will get 20,000 gold and 10k experience and 10 ACs. And if your friend levels up to, he or she, doesn't really matter to me, levels up to 30, it'll be 80,000 gold and 50,000 year experience with 100 ACs. The max is 10 friends in the year, so it won't be heavily, how you say it, like heavily influenced by like people just creating accounts. And I'm also gonna add in like a IP limit, so like you can only make so about 4 or 5, just because say your little brother wants to play and you can just have him play too. But yeah, it'll still be taken advantage of, but at least it's something. So here's a completely different stance in AQW, because relationships don't really work. Well, they're not really a thing in AQW, to be honest, except friendship. But that's plot armor. Who knows? But yeah, some MMO have a marriage system, so why not have one for AQW, I thought. And we can have like a marriage map to set up the marriage, and it'll be like really freaking expensive, stuff like that or whatever. And the map can hold like about, I don't know, 30 people. Is that even enough? I personally never been to a real life wedding, so I don't know how many people come over. But as to like the benefits of being a couple, you can like, I don't know, like live in one house. So both of you, when you collect the house item, go to the same house and have your house bases combined, I guess, or just double the default, I guess, I don't know. And there'll be discount on buying house spaces, but that's all I can think of. And as for cosmetic items, we could just add it to like the amulet, but have it as a ring or something like that, so it will just appear on the character's hand, or just, you know, have it equipped. That's about it. I think we should have a language feature in the game, because it will make it easier to understand and easier to comprehend. And for our next feature, we're gonna have teen rated, so we don't have to be PG all the time. And the majority of the players aren't really kids, to be honest. They're like teenagers, so teen rated is pretty much good if they can do that. And they already done that for AQ3D, so why not AQ rules if they can change the rating system, if that's even possible. And this could, and even I would prefer it to be more mature, but also being fun and happy every now and then, like they always do. For our next feature, we're gonna have an auction house. If trading isn't possible, we're gonna have a little bit of trading, technically. So we're just gonna sell off the merge items only. And oh, of course, like rare merge items can be in it. So yeah, it should be like based on the player, and they price everything. So from all the simple stuff all the way to the really hardcore items to merge. But yeah, a little auction house wouldn't hurt. So for Ballyhoo rewards, I just really wanted to increase the values, because even if you do the Ballyhoo rewards, the gold you get is really low, like 500, 1,000 from what I'm seeing. And like the AQ Classic, Ballyhoo is really good, and all the players are always doing Ballyhoo because it gives a lot of gold and a good amount of Z tokens whenever I do it. So yeah, hopefully if they can put this system in AQ Worlds from AQ Classic, it will be really good. Make it much more easier for new players to get some gold and possibly ACs. For this next feature, it's gonna be hard to understand, I think, but I think it's pretty simple. Just because since there's so many items in AQRO for the past, what is it, like 9-10 years by now, it was just basically a lot of items, and you have to wiki wiki through all the items that AQW has released, and most of the good items are rare. So I don't think that's really good, to be honest. And I really hope this can be a thing. And the way it's gonna be it's gonna like you open up and you just literally look up a items. Let's say Red Hood, and it will give you like a list of Red Hood. And we could add in like filters, like, well, actually we don't really need filters. It's just gonna show the rare items, non-rare items. I mean, sorry, but yeah, this will be helpful. And of course, we could add in like a trending on there, feature trending, stuff like that onto the system, feature system. I'm getting confused. Alright, our next question, not question, oh my, I am all over the place, aren't I? So the next feature will be the quest tab in the Book of Lore. And the quest tab in the Book of Lore is really outdated. And it's basically like a last minute work. And I don't think there's even all the releases on that quest tab or whatever it is. Like, do we even know what the purpose of the quest tab is? Like, we either update it or and more user friendly, or we just remove it completely because there's not really a purpose in the quest tab in the Book of Lore. So we either revamp it so you can, well, easily go through it, or instead of scrolling through everything and not knowing what the heck they are, or just remove it from the Book of Lore. Easy as that. Alright, for this category, we're gonna have guilds. So all the guild stuff is gonna be in here. For our first feature for the guilds is a base. This is long overdue. We should finally have our guild hall, base, whatever you call it. AE was on the path to make this when they were creating the guild feature, but then for whatever reason they literally stopped, and we just have an empty building with blueprints on them. And that's technically a guild hall? I don't know. We just really need our guild bases. Make something out of that. For our next guild feature is going to be furniture. So furbishing the guild house, not house, base, sorry. So yeah, all the members can donate, and we can have like statues of the leaders or like NPCs of the leaders in that base. So yeah, and of course it's gonna be really expensive, like 5 million gold for like a couch or like a stand or something like that, like above the max amount of gold. And maybe add in some AC items because AEs will probably do that. Alright, for this next feature, it's the guild server claim, which I have come up with. So I haven't talked about the PvP system that much because that's too much of a hassle, but I'll get to it. So we're basically gonna have the guilds fight for their top, and once they're at the top, they can claim the server which they got on top of, whether that be Sephiria, Artix, Yorumi, Galax, whatever server. We can have like the guilds fight for the top and have their name on their servers. So there'll be some competitive aspect to AQ Worlds. So yeah. For our next feature, we're gonna have the guild levels. So I'm basing this from a few games, but what they basically can do is they can increase their guild level for better daily rewards. So on top of your daily rewards for logging in to AQ, you get a bonus from the guilds. So that will keep more people into the game, like EXP, gold, and maybe once they're like a high enough guild level, they can start earning daily ACs from it, which will really help out. But of course it'd be like really minuscule, like 5 to 10 or something like that. For our next feature, we're gonna have the guild PvP. And so what this is gonna do is basically restrict all the classes in the game to the non-OP ones, such as like Void High Lord, Blaze Binder, and stuff like that. And it's mostly gonna be like the weaker classes such as Pirate, Warrior, Mage, stuff like that. And even Rogue you can throw in there. But yeah, this is gonna be the competitive part of PvP, and they will use this kind of PvP system to get their guild server claim, as I said before. But yeah, and also there'll be ranks. I don't know the exact like scaling of stuff like that, but like, and also we can like, and how like guild wars can also be a thing, is when a guild requests a fight with another guild, or like a war invitation, I guess, I don't know. But it's only with the tier they're in, so they won't be bombarded by the lower guilds or a high ranking guild bullying a lower guild, vice versa. For our final guild feature, we're gonna have the leaderboards PvP. So this will be showing more of the competitive side of AQ World, if that even exists in AQ World to begin with. But yeah, we can have a competitive system in Blood Brawl, so who has like the highest 1v1 wins and losses, stuff like that. Alright, on to the, I think one of the bigger list. And this category is going to be the game specific features. So the more technical stuff is going to be on here. And for our first feature for the game specific one is going to be the bank preview, which everybody suggests, and basically everybody suggests this every time I talk to them. Hey, what AQ feature you want? Bank preview. Like, if you have bank preview, apparently all the problems of AQ World is fixed, apparently. So yeah. For our next feature is also going to be bank related, is a bank search bar. So yeah, you can have the search bar in the bank, so you don't have to scroll through all the hundreds of items you have. And for our other next feature, because these are really rather quick and easy to understand, is a bank filter. And we can just throw it in there for those rare collectors, so we can have a setting to show rares and non-rares, or both, which is what we have at the moment. This feature was suggested by one of you guys, Hardcore Weeaboo. Okay. And this feature is basically really rather simple. It's just how many hours of AQ World you played, and that's about it. And it's just a curiosity saying, hey, how many hours of my life have I given up to this game, which is 2D. But yeah. On to our next feature, we have the AC item discount system, which I have made. Made. So how this feature will work, and will probably never exist because they are a company and want money, is if you pay 1 million gold, you can minus 200 ACs from an item. So if you wanted to buy a class, it would be 1800 ACs and 1 million gold instead of the base price 2000 ACs, which you usually buy. But there will be a 250 AC threshold, so you can buy a 200 AC items for free. So if you buy a 75 AC helm, it will be 75 ACs. So yeah. This is a feature that I always really wanted, just freaking have a resolution option for AQ Worlds. Because I always have to like crop it up to a weird aspect ratio and just always have to stretch it out when I'm editing. And I think most people would want this once we have the new engine and everything. and I think the aspect ratio is like what, like 16:10, and even though the majority of gamers just use 16:9, 16 and 9, not the, get your mind on the gutters, guys, come on. For our next feature, we're gonna have a really basic one, better attack animations. Some people are just bored with the default attack animations or just want a different variation. So yeah, we can have that, I guess. It's not really a big thing, but you know, better attack animation, maybe new ones. For this next one is combat pet skills. So with the combat pet skill feature, we can have our combat pets actually do something instead of just auto attacking like we do. So in AQ Classic, we have like what, the Fairy Godmother that can like heal, restore mana and stuff like that. And I think the pet I'm using is just Retro Twilly, which just heals every time, every turn or so. But yeah, if you can have this for AQ, it would be great. Make instead of 4 buttons into 8 buttons. Well, technically 9, but no one actually uses a 6th button. Not 6th, the 5th button, which is potions. For this next feature, we're gonna have a new overarching story. And man, we really need a new story because Queen of Monsters sucks, and everyone in the server actually really hates the Queen of Monsters because the whole take over the world thing, and you know, kind of cliche, and no one really actually cares the story too much for Queen of Monsters except for the loot. That's all they care for. And the only exciting thing I found out for the Queen of Monsters is just Aria was a champion of nature. Yeah, that's about it. And they took her, kind of. So yeah, but that overall thing is really boring. So after we, you know, kill the Queen of Monsters or whatever, and for the buffer, we can either, for a buffer store, we can have like imposters running around saying they're us and stuff like that, and then we can just, you know, easy release, just beat them up, make them feel sorry, and then go on to the next overarching story. For this next feature, I believe World of Warcraft has this system, if I believe. Well, a better version, but for AQ Worlds, it's gonna be really simplistic and not that well attuned. But there will be like level zones like in Battleground. So in Battlegrounds, you have like 1 to 15 and 15 to 30 and stuff like that. We can actually have that in the overarching story in the 13 Laws of Chaos in the future releases, because either the new release is just, you know, a bunch of level 1s and all the high levels are just one-shotting these bosses, or the level 1s are having a real tough time killing the new monsters for the release. So having this level zone feature will really help. But yeah, for this next feature, we're gonna have mana amulets, and of course this can easily be broken because our max mana has been 100 for many years. So that make some class more spammable, make classes a bit too strong. So yeah, if we have it, cool. If not, it's fine. But yeah, for this next feature, we're gonna have a face changer, and this was really surprising. I forget who exactly suggested this, but yeah, it was a good feature which I hadn't realized yet. And for this face changer, we're gonna have different emotions on our armors, because every armor has a default like expression, and for my character it's like very nonchalant, stoic, serious. But yeah, or you're just smiling 24/7, which is creepy. You shouldn't be smiling 24/7. But yeah, if you can add this feature, it'd be more character customization. Cool. For this next feature is gonna be the title system, which I have also taken inspiration from other games because I'm not original. And so how this is, since we always go on adventures and stuff like that, we can have it so we can earn titles from our adventures. So we can have, like, for example, Escharon Conqueror or Drakkrath Killer, some other form like that, and we get certain buffs from it basically. And so people will, you know, play the game more, gather some titles, either make a class stronger, like their favorite class stronger, like Warrior will have like a self regen other than the awe heal or health fam, whatever it's called. But yeah, this title system will be really cool, and actually fits in really well. Just do a lot of adventures, storylines, and you get some titles, which either gives you some cool buffs, maybe some deep buffs for those, you know, people who want to go hardcore on that. So like minus 50 defense or whatever. Do we even have a defense stat in AQW? Who knows? For this feature is what I call the all-class virtual reality room place thing. But yeah, during the old PTR, we got the access to use all the classes in AQW. So like you could have used Chunin Mon classes and stuff like that, and that was really fun. And that's why if you back in the day, you would just find me in the old PTR just loading in item codes for like many hours, because that was like the fun thing for me. What item is this? Big Daddy. No, wait, what was the other one? Dragno or something like that? It was pretty fun doing that. So basically this feature will just have a place, possibly out of grids, because why not, or a custom map, and you can wear a temporary class armor, I guess, and use the class, and you can test it on the monsters in that place and have fun with it and do some testing with it. And of course it'll be automatically ranked 10 with all the passives unlocked and stuff like that. But I think this will be really helpful, and because when I just say, oh, Darkblood Stormkid is a really good class, oh, Stormcrusher is a really good solo class, people don't really know how actually good the class is when I say it to them, and it will help them out. For our next feature is another, well, we have passives in the game, but I'm gonna add a passive slot into the game, so we can further expand the combat portion of the game. So on top of the title system and the class virtualization and this, it will make a lot of combos, or like people like, you know, making up combos like, hey, we should lose like iron skin and use the damage reduction from Cryomancer and stuff like that, which would be really cool. But yeah, passive slot will also be like a part of the adventure thing that you can gain through the short releases, and that'd be really cool. And you can say like iron skin gives you like 10% damage reduction or something like that, and it'll make some classes more tanky, like Elemental Dracmancer, even though it's already pretty tanky by itself. Alright, for this category, I'm gonna be talking about all the social aspects, so with your friends mostly, not so much on the community, but just your friends, the people you know. For our first feature, we're gonna talk about chat channels, and this has been a staple in most MMOs, and it would be great to have in general. So Of course, the basic chat channels are going to be here, like party, general, whisper, and it'll just literally reduce the clutter on the screen. For this next feature, we're going to talk about party buffs. But Pure, we have never commanded that actually gives party buffs. Shut up, Billy. I will talk about what the party buffs are. So this party buff is literally going to be a way so newbies and other people could literally group off because there's no incentive to group off, and most people can just solo boss it with like Void High Lord and Stonecrush and stuff like that. And how this feature is gonna work is every time you invite someone, you get a 3% boost to all things. So like EXP, class, rep, etc. If I forget any. And if you get a full party with a group of your friends, it'll be 12 max, and it will be just really incentivize like grouping up and having fun together. Because right now we don't really have an incentive to just group up, we just solo stuff, to be honest. For this next feature, I'm gonna talk about organizing the friend list, and what I mean by that is basically starring specific friends as your favorites. So your best friend is going to be on top of your list every single time you open it, and you can just have all the regular friends on starred, I guess. Yeah. I don't know why I made this much more complicated than it needed to be. Alright, that's all the features I just wanted to talk about. If you had a feature that wasn't listed or you want to add, not listed, like add to it, just leave it down in the comment section and chat amongst yourselves. But yeah, I really want to thank you all for sticking by me, and man, this video took me a really long time. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, and yeah, and hopefully none of you died because this is a really long video. Probably one of my longest videos other than my live streams. So yeah, I see you guys next time.